Hello and welcome to Dark Souls Lore Q&A number 8. I am Mont, or Alex, and we've got an unusual request today. Fog gates. Fog doors, mist gates, the white mist, the white light. They go by several names throughout the Souls games, but what are they? From a gameplay perspective, it would make sense that they exist to load certain game elements, much like the slow opening of a door is often used to mask loading. Good example? In Dark Souls 2, when you travel from Majula to the Forest of Fallen Giants, there is a gate that you have to wait slowly as it opens, and that is most likely used to mask the loading of the Forest of the Fallen Giants area. So, do the mist gates work in a similar way? Probably, but how about from a story perspective? Is there any reasoning for them there? It's not like they play much role in the story most of the time, but that's what we're hopefully going to find out in this video. The only real story applications that I can think of would be the colourless fog that threatens to engulf the world in Demon's Souls, and that in Dark Souls you can find orange fog gates, those which are sealed by the Great Lord's power. We can only traverse these once we receive the Lord Vessel. I suppose the logic behind this being that only those who are worthy of being Gwyn's successor should be allowed access to the Lord Souls, with the exception of the Four Kings, I suppose. It's a strange mechanic though. From a gameplay perspective, would it screw things up so much if we could kill, say, Nito at the beginning of the game? And how does Gwyn have such a power to begin with? And if he is capable of sealing things, why didn't he just seal away the undead asylum, cover it with orange mist? If he was so afraid of the Dark Lord, that would have been a good way to get rid of him. But that's a line of thought we probably shouldn't go too far down. Likewise, when you fight a boss, you are trapped in that boss room by the fog gate. Understandably, that is to keep you fighting the boss, unless you homeward bone out or something, but considering that it vanishes when the boss dies, is that some lesser form of what Gwyn was doing? Are the bosses trapping you there? Do they generate the fog gates using the power of their soul or something? And what about Seath, who, when you fight him for the first time, you can enter that room and then go straight back out again? And what about Bloodborne? Do we still need those things with a generational leap? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they're kept just for the sake of tradition. But at least in Bloodborne, the fog gates look rather different, almost as if they're being controlled or involve the messengers in some way. And the messengers in Bloodborne seem to be able to travel between worlds. So perhaps there's something to do with that. If you likewise consider that in Dark Souls the fog gates that appear during invasions can be used for all sorts of interesting things, then yes, you could make some hypothesis, I suppose, that the fog gates are somehow related to the parallel worlds thing. I think the best answer though for fog gates is this. Demon's Souls used them as clever ways to mask certain loading of assets into the game world, and it made sense because the colourless fog enshrouds Boletaria. Indeed, the first thing you see upon making your character is that same character traversing the white light, being guided to Boletaria. When it came time for Dark Souls, maybe they were kept just because. That's what I think. What do you think though? Is there some deeper secret to the fog gates? Some people like to think that all of the Souls games take place in the same universe or even the same world. Maybe the fog gates are evidence of that. Maybe Patches is the god of Soulsverse and uses the fog gates to hop from one realm, one world, to the next. Or maybe not. Either way, let me know your thoughts on the fog gates in the comments, and if you have any questions or ideas for future Q&A videos, let me know. Until then, you take care.